Hi and welcome to Add More Zest, and my name's Rebecca. Happy 8th of December to you all. So first up we have today's Advent opening. So day 8 is the smaller bag, and inside is a couple of small but mighty items. We have in today's two Touch of Zest trash trays. So they are miniature versions of our fuller size. So this is a zesty size tray. These are perfect for popping in diamond. Well, you can actually have a couple of uses, but one of them, the primary use, is normally for any drills that may have a little bubble, if they're resin drills, a couple that may be stuck together and can't be pulled apart. Any sort of drills that are not good enough for your painting. It's great to store them in this, either with one of those grip mats that we talked about yesterday on an easel, or if you work flat, you could just pop it nearby. Another thing you can do, now this is very much dependent on the painting, but if you find that you have a painting that you're doing quite a big section, but there's just an odd colour that ends up being scattered about, like maybe if you're doing a starry sky and there's the odd diamond scattered about, sometimes it can be handy just to put about 10 or so in one of these. Of course, they've not got the ridges, so they don't line up as well as a normal tray, but sometimes it can be enough when you're working along to just dip in and get that one, and not have a full size tray for it. Especially works if they're like, if there's something that's quite different, it works very well. Stop you getting confused over numbers. But yeah, they are today's gift. They will be all different colours depending on which one you've got. Some of them may have two-tone. Some of them may be sort of a single. It is completely hit and miss. We just grabbed two, tried to make sure that they look different. So that is today's Advent, and we are on section 8. We are finally in a different column today, though we are still connected. We are connecting, but we are moving across. Okay, let me have a little bit of a rejig. I'm using a pen today that was made for me by Melissa. So it's actually a normal writing pen that has been adapted for diamond painting, which is absolutely awesome. So I'll show you that in a tick. I am just going to shuffle this one up so we can get going. There we go. And let's zoom in all the way so I know where I need my diamond painting to be. We can come down a little bit. There we go. Try and get you a bit in the middle and get my laptop down so I can see comments. But yeah, this is a Stabilo Easy Original pen. Oh, try and get that in shot. It's got sort of ergonomic grips and things. But basically the end, she's taken out the inside and replaced it with a pink pen. It's just been cut down to size. I've actually stuck it in there with a bit of putty to stop it moving. I also managed to change the tip to a metal tip as well, but originally it had the normal one. The only real tricky part of this is just cutting down your pen little bit by little bit to make sure that it is still enough for the pen tip to stick out. Apart from that, you can just adapt a pen that you can pick up from somewhere that sells stationery. So I'm going to start with the black again today, and I'm just going to get going on that black. But I am filming this the day before again on the Sunday. My hope was to get it filmed yesterday. However, we decided to, after I'd filmed yesterday's, we decided to go out and get the tumble dryer. And then I would potentially film when we got back. But when we got back, it was like 3 o'clock, and the lighting was already going. And it would have just gone even more by the time I'd have filmed. It's just got darker and darker. It is very much a film in the morning kind of thing. So yeah, Megan and I sorted out under the stairs, moved everything out, and yeah, we went and got a tumble dryer. It was put to extremely good use yesterday. I must admit, yesterday I must have done about six loads of washing, maybe more. I just kept the washing machine going until about 9:30, 10 o'clock, about 9:30, I think it was, at night. I just kept the washing machine going. And yeah, I still do have 3 maidens up. 2 of them are full. One just has a few bits on that can't be tumble dried. So I am currently, while I am getting through a whole lot more washing than I could have done, I've not quite got rid of my maidens yet, because of things that can't be tumble dried. But I emptied mine and hubby's washing basket, even though I put more stuff in it last night. But I did empty it yesterday, and I have just emptied the washing basket from upstairs that's used by 3 of the children. So yeah, I just have one more washing basket to go, and of course trying to deal with the stuff that can't be tumble dried. But yeah, it's going great. It looks like a tumble dryer. It's not the most attractive thing in my haul, but it is making me smile every time I walk past it. So yeah, that ended up being the main mission for yesterday. Today, I think I plan on doing a lot of the same. I'm not sure if I'm going to get round to doing makeup bags today. I think the girls might have to wait until next week. I'm quite enjoying pottering around the house today, getting things straightened up, getting through the washing, getting other bits that are just floating about tidied up. And I think I'm just going to continue with it today while I'm enjoying it. I'm just going to continue pottering and doing a bit of this and a bit of that. And it'll definitely make things easier for me next week. I think I'm going to have to hoover those stairs again. I know Catherine did them the other day, but I feel like they definitely need another going over. So yeah, I'm going to work on that sort of stuff. Will has just taken Luna out for a walk. So I have currently closed the door between me and the kitchen because the washing machine's going. It offends Luna if the kitchen door's shut. She thinks she's missing out on something. And it's just not worth her trying to open it when I'm filming. But yeah, while she is currently out. So yeah, here's for a productive Sunday for me. I hope you guys had one yesterday and are having an amazing start to your week. Because I've been on my computer sorting out videos and things, I am definitely up for a busy week next week, or at least a busy Monday. So thank you all for your orders. I am going to work on getting those sorted as quickly as possible and get them on their way. But yeah, let's dive into the comments section, because I have a lot of comments to work through, which is good because getting videos done for this weekend, so that I didn't need to film at the weekend, was an epic fail. So I think next week I'm going to try and learn from that and try and get my weekend videos done, or, you know, get caught up on videos, so that up to the weekend's done as soon as possible next week. I know it won't happen on Monday, but instead of leaving it to do 2 on Thursday and 2 on Friday, I think I'm just going to start from Tuesday and just try and do a couple and make sure that they are done and ready, because next weekend it's a bit busier for us. Or at least I think it is. Yes, it is. I'm going to get my hair done. That's what definitely makes it busier next week. But Carrie, she says she is loving the advent calendar. She says she can't wait to keep opening it. I'm just going to use this trash tray rather than using my little bin pot. She says these migraines are out of control. She says so she is struggling to stay focused on anything. It sucks. Sucks when things like that happen. She says she went today to get occipital nerve blocks and trigger point injections. She says, here's hoping this calms them down at least. Yes, crossing fingers over here that it starts to get better for you, because that is just so frustrating. She says they finally took down the kennels from their dogs. She says they lost them in January and June, but it took until now until they were ready to do it. And sometimes it does. Just things like that are just too much at the time or close to the time. She says, but they need room for their new Christmas tree, which they are putting up tomorrow, which for them was last Thursday. Well, I hope the putting up of the tree went well and that your migraines have calmed down, because, as I say, that is just, it sucks, is what it is. Polly, she says, how clever. She says day 3 is such a cool idea. She says she will definitely have to do hers next year though, as she has to get out her Christmas decorations to replace fall/Halloween. Could be combining words. She says on the living room mantle. She says she chuckles when she hears me talking about hanging laundry outside. She says where she lives, she says clothes would be frozen stiff on the line. I think ours would get frozen stiff on the line at the moment. I was just dreaming of some summer days. But yeah, fortunately it's not going to happen at the moment. So tumble dryer to the rescue. And yeah, I feel loads better about the washing already. Even just knowing that if I have a few days where I don't get any done, I now have a backup plan in the form of a big tumble dryer. She says she wanted to tell me, she says that she enjoys seeing videos of my craft room. She says it's so neatly organised. She says bright and cheerful. She says thanks for sharing. Well, I'm glad you enjoy it. I love my little craft room space. It's amazing how well it works. And I just, yeah, I enjoy being in there as much as anything as well. Common Dog says, hello, Zesties and Rebecca. Said they finally got caught up on the waffling. They said they had to pass on the advent calendar this year. She says, but living vicariously through watching, you open the goodies on the video. She says, keep up the wonderful work and stay warm, everybody. Yes, it is cold season, unless, of course, you're in Australia, New Zealand, etc. But it's definitely cold season for a lot of us, and it's not that nice. It's not that nice being this cold. I don't like it anyway. Leslie, she says, hi Rebecca. She says she's just wondering if I am doing the same thing next year. She says, i.e. a Christmas calendar. She says because she missed it this time and she would love to buy one, and she loves my whip and chats. She says she's been watching her sports on TV. And she says, while she does miss diamond painting anyway, she says, thank you for what you're doing and please keep safe and well. Yes, we are still doing one next year. In fact, we'll have more options for more budgets next year. We're planning on changing things up slightly, which, as I say, will appeal to more budgets. You'll have a little bit more control over the items or the type of items that you receive, and yeah, hopefully it will make things easier for us as well, is the plan. But yeah, we haven't finalised all of that yet. I'll be getting stuck into that, no doubt, in January, to get the basis of things, and then work on the finer details throughout the year. Bazingirl Craft, she says, hello everyone. She says, that was an amazing idea. So this is in relation to day 3. She says, sometimes, she says, she truly wonders what goes through the great Mrs. Rebecca's head. She says, to come up with these ideas before anyone else. A lot of the time, I just think, what would I like? What would I like to be able to do? What's different? I want something that's different, but not necessarily hard, just different. She says, to come up with these ideas before anyone else and being able to keep them a secret, which is the hardest part. Being able to keep them a secret is definitely hard. She said she would be ecstatic and not be able to keep her mouth shut. There are some people that I have not been able to keep my mouth shut to. Mainly people that know nothing about diamond painting. So I don't quite get to the same level of excitement from them. But yes, there are definitely people that I have told. She says she is not so patiently waiting for day 4. It's always good when the excitement level for the next day is still up there, or at least I think it is. And yeah, I like this year's advent calendar. I think yeah, you've got something that's lasting, as well as lots of goodies that of course will be lasting, but something that sort of ties the whole thing together as well, which is what I've enjoyed. Susan, she says, thank you for another amazing section on the diamond painting. She says they had their first, she says, probably of many. She says, first Christmas party. Goodness me, is it that time already? She says they came home around 9 p.m, put their 3-year-old to bed, and then she went right to do her section. She says, otherwise she will get behind and never catch up. That is dedication for you. I like it. She says listening/watching, she says, really helps her to get it done. Oh, well, I'm glad I can help motivate you to get your little bit of me time, even if it is after a Christmas party, which to some people would be me time. I guess it depends. If you've popped your 3-year-old to bed, how much have you still been in mummy mode? rather than me time mode. It really depends on the type of party and who you're going with as to whether it can be classed as a bit of me time or not. Lady Dax, she says, happy day 4. She says, the weather is cold and dim here in London today. She says, so it is the perfect day to stay warm and diamond paint. Yes, exactly. If it is cold and dreary outside, staying and diamond painting is highly recommended as a very good thing to do. That's why it's a good hobby. You can do it outside in the garden in summer, and you can use it as a perfect reason to stay inside when it is miserable outside and get your diamond painting done. Pampered with Diamonds, she says she's in Florida in the US. She says it's cold this morning. See, now I do not disagree that you feel cold in any way, shape or form. I just wonder how cold and whether we would class it as mild or warm. Because I know Florida cold is definitely a little bit different to UK cold. In fact, I did, or I have seen that potentially, considering Canada has a lot of snow, a good chunk of snow over winter, like a lot more than we do, apparently their cold doesn't feel as cold as the UK cold. I think a lot of it is to do with the humidity. Which is why our hot, and you know, we say we're in a heat wave at 30 degrees and people are like, what are you talking about? Our heat is also different, again, because of the humidity. It makes it feel a lot different for us poor human bodies. And yeah, they do say that UK cold, especially our cold, it all sort of came out when people were commenting on the cold snap we had a few weeks ago. Even Canadians saying it felt colder than Canada. So, yeah, it seems like the UK has a really rough end of the stick when it comes to weather, which is maybe why we discuss it so much. Sympathy moaning. Jess, Diamond Paint, she says this canvas needs a name other than the 2025 Advent. Yes, it does. It will change on the website. I will update the name soon. We just did it as the 2025 Advent to try and make it a bit easier for people to know which one I would be doing. She says, does it even have one? I think I'm going to call it Rainbow River, because I think that is, while I love the colour in all of the painting, I think it's the river that is really standing out to me, even though it's not the biggest element on the painting. So I'm thinking I'm going to call it Rainbow River, unless any of the suggestions, of course, that end up coming in make me change my mind, which I am perfectly entitled to, as I am a female. She says her big canvas this month, she says, is a large Abraham Hunter snow scene called Cozy Evening. She says she is drowning in a sea of snowy blue and brown tree branches. She says, needless to say, this colourful break in the day has been just what she needed. Oh, that's good to hear. That is good to hear. Cat Lady, she says, oh, no diamond painting for her today. She says she had neglected the household chores since the weekend. She said so her day was washing and packing parcels ready for posting. She says she has been so busy she hasn't even opened her advents. Oh, that's like me this morning actually. I haven't opened my advent yet this morning. I do plan on doing, but it will probably be once I finish this video. She says she has packed all the things that need to be posted down. She says, but she still needs to wrap presents to take down to her son and his girlfriend later in the month. She said, and her husband's an eldest son who will be with her for Christmas. Oh, well, you've got till Christmas Eve to do them. Even early hours of Christmas morning at a push. She says she might leave the ones for Christmas Day until after they have the tree up. Yes, because then they've got somewhere to go. It's so nice wrapping a present and then just putting it under the tree. She says she has written her Christmas cards, just the neighbours' ones, she says, to write out now. Well, that is a very productive day. And sometimes, I will say, especially after yesterday, getting sort of under the stairs sorted for the tumble dryer, which meant I actually sorted out stuff that had loitered under the stairs and really didn't need to be there. It sort of forced me to sort them all out. But I found that doing that yesterday and spending a chunk of the day yesterday washing, drying and all the rest of it was actually very beneficial to my soul. And I could class that as actually a little bit of me time because it definitely did me good. I'm not saying that like a standard daily task of emptying the dishwasher is me time, because it's not. But I did feel as though it was a bit of me time, just having a day pottering and just getting the little bits that were annoying me done. It was looking after future me is what I was doing yesterday, which is why I think I may do a bit more of that today. I've just remembered as well there is an event on at the sailing club, which is a bit more of a kids party, but it's still sort of a get together. We may go to that later. I don't know. I still haven't spoke to hubby about that one, but we shall see. It's not that far away if we decide to go. So yeah, all for a productive day. I think it's good for the soul. Crystal, she says, poor Luna, she says her pup barks at all animals, knocks and doorbell rings. Yeah, can get frustrating, but I suppose it is their nature. She says even when they hear her son's car pulling the drive, she says drives me crazy after a while, and they have to go in their kennel, she says, for a timeout if they don't listen and be quiet. Yes, because sometimes you can never quite tell between the excited bark or not. Like, I know it's their only way to communicate, but I don't think we're wired up. Like babies' cries, you can sort of tell what they want by the way they cry, like their cries are different. And you eventually learn it over time. But I'm just not feeling that dog barks are different. They just go through me sometimes. Some goes through me too much sometimes. Bev, she says she is very disciplined. She says when it comes to the Advent calendar, she says she opens it while she is having her first coffee of the day with her chocolate from her Terry's Chocolate Orange calendar. Ooh, I love Terry's Chocolate Orange. She says her event painting, she says, not so much. She says she's just completed day 10, and this comment was left on day 4.
She says she is absolutely loving this canvas. She says, and she will definitely be putting it up in her haul after Christmas. Well, that's good to know. I'm glad you are enjoying it. It is a lovely painting, and I'm really enjoying working on it. Even when I have days that is more, you know, green and trees, I'm enjoying the fact, especially like now, that even though there's like 3 greens, they're all contained like in this black section, and I'm just sort of working my way up. It's nice to my organised brain. It's very satisfying to still be able to do sort of little confetti bits, but still have just that little bit of order. It's that little bit of order to go with it, which suits me. Drama Free DP, she says she loves the white cardstock, she says, and the whole project, really. She says, so creative. Also, she says she must say this diamond painting is so super sparkly and pretty. She says her favourite part so far is the coloured confetti sprinkled into the river. Yes. There is just something about the way it's all in rows, I think, because there's a lot of colour sprinkled into the tree as well. And of course the rainbow has the colour, but there is just something about the river. And yeah, just, I don't know whether it is just because it's in lines or what, but yeah, it does make my heart happy. Very much. And yeah, I'm loving doing the colour over each day. And even when it doesn't have colour, I'm enjoying it for different reasons. So today's I am enjoying because it's just, I feel like it's just so organised. Organised, but still producing a gorgeous picture. Right, let me find number 3. Sammy Lou, she says it has been a very rainy, miserable day here. She said it has also been a hectic day. Her daughter's school had their Christmas fetes. Oh yes, that's always a mad day, is it not? She says she was extremely tired. She said so her daddy went with her and her sister. Unfortunately, she says pretty much the whole school was there. So loud when you have so loud the summer fairs, winter fairs more so because they're all inside. So noisy. She says so hubby had been pushed around a bit and had a panic attack. She says they really should rent a space, she says, as the school is too small. Yeah, I remember school fetes and like winter fetes and things which were in the hall. And yeah, if you think when the kids went for assembly and they were sat on the floor, they would pretty much line the whole thing. So imagine trying to shove them all standing up along with all the parents. It is, yeah, it's a different level of carnage, is it not? Yeah, and you know, as fun as they were, I'm so glad they didn't last longer than like an hour, because it would have, yeah, it was too much as it was. I used to love the fact I could then go home and leave the kids at school and have a break for a minute. Have a bit of quiet time. Mrs. Thaxton said, hi Zesties, and you too, Mrs. Rebecca. She says she has just watched her year-end review on YouTube. She says, and it seems as though she is in the 1% that watches me the most. Well, thank you ever so much. She says, you pretty much start my day. She says every day. Oh, well, thank you. Good morning to you. She says, anywho, she says she just wanted to let me know. She says that she is having to watch my videos twice. She says sometimes 3 times. She says because she gets interrupted. I know that feeling. She says she gets interrupted so much. She says, oh, well. She says she guesses that means she just gets more me time. She says she told her husband and kids, she says, the more you interrupt me, the longer it's going to take me. I feel like those words go in one ear and out the other. She says, are you finished a giant picture named Peekaboo? Are you finishing a giant picture named Peekaboo? No, I don't think that's one of mine. She says, and she has plans to finish it by the 1st. Oh, I'm guessing she's saying she's finishing a picture called Peekaboo. She says there is an epic amount of black, she said, that she did first. And she hopes that everybody has a great Advent season. It is raining here. I just keep hearing the rain and thinking, is that going to get louder? Well, you enjoy your much more me time, and hopefully, eventually, they will learn. The first time you don't get interrupted, you'll get confused as to why you have not been interrupted. Crystal, she says, can she just say that my nails are on point? She says, they're beautiful and festive. Thank you, Crystal. She also says, she can't believe this year is almost gone already. She says her brain said it doesn't compute. She says she just wanted to say that she loves my interaction with Luna and her antics while filming. Nick Hubby's keeping her in a different part of the house at the moment, which is pretty good because she'd have probably jumped up to say hello, even though she's the one that left the house, not me. But yeah, sometimes she will just lie there and she's more than happy to just go to sleep. And other times she's like, I want attention and I want to sit on the chair with you right there and get in your way. Doroby Punked. Oh, she says she had a rough day at work. She says came home, unpacked the drills for the advent calendar painting and kitted it up. She says she is not sure if she's doing it this year, she says, but she needed the daily dose of waffle and doing something that she enjoys. Well, I'm glad that the waffle was here for you after a rough day at work, because sometimes, yeah, you do just need to be able to go and do that switch off. And just get your brain back in order, I think, some of the time. Just get yourself back in order. Vicky, she says, just a question. She says, why don't you have a clothes dryer? I do now, but originally a lot of it is storage space, is where to store one in the UK, which is why I did have a combi washer dryer, but they take so long to dry clothes that they're more... The combi one was more used as an emergency drying of clothes, more so than a regular occurrence. It costs a lot more in electric to do it via the combi. And yeah, like it ties up the washing machine to stop me getting through other washing. And yeah, it's not a practical thing to do a lot of the time. But more often than not, in UK homes, if they don't have one, it's down to storage. It's down to where to put it, because houses aren't necessarily huge. Yes, there are some that are bigger than others, but they cost a small fortune. And yeah, even ours 3-bed semi doesn't necessarily have place for a tumble dryer. At a push, I could fit one in my kitchen. If like I was redoing my kitchen, I could fit one in, but then my kitchen would have to have big cabinets on both sides of my kitchen, which would very much make it feel quite galley type style kitchen walking down. And I don't like that. I prefer the space. I prefer to be able to have the dishwasher open and still walk past it, for example, rather than opening the dishwasher door and not being able to get past until the door's shut again. Things like that. But yeah, I've found a compromise now. The games don't get used as much as the tumble dryer, so under my stairs is now the new home for my tumble dryer. It's working. We have a heat pump tumble dryer now, so it uses less electric than a condenser tumble dryer. Takes slightly longer than a condenser one, but is loads quicker than a combi washer dryer, which means it's quicker than what we're used to, and it saves a lot more money on electric, like the average cost for the year. I think when I saw the average cost, which is probably more based on a family of 4 than a family of 6, I went, yeah, I'll spend that not to have washing all over my house. So, and while it's on, it heats up the hall a bit, so that's always good. That'll save electric in a different way. Janita, she says, hi Rebecca and Zesties. She says she would rather have rain, she says, than the mountain of snow. Yes, I think I'd rather have rain than snow. Snow looks pretty, but then it can get lethal for getting on with your daily life. She says, rather than snow, she has to shovel. Even more so, yes. You don't have to shovel rain. It disappears on its own. She says, they have been totally hammered, she says, and shoveling snow eats into her diamond painting time, which is not good. Maybe you should just let the house get dusty and let it eat into your housework time instead. Falpet said, previously they were bad and opened their advent calendar as soon as it arrived. Said, but this year they are being good and waiting to open each day until they watch the video for the day. Oh, look at you and your self-control. I like it. I like it. Sometimes I think I delay opening my advent calendar in the morning until I'm a little bit more awake, because the surprise and the anticipation lasts a little bit longer then. And sometimes I enjoy the surprise and the what is it going to be more than actually knowing what it is going to be. So I tend to wait until I am fully into my day before I'm like, oh, yes, I'll open it now. Anastasia, she says, to answer your question about her broke leg, she says, well, she was a bit absent-minded at the gym. And she tried to step off a moving treadmill. She said she smashed her tibia with her femur, she says, because of how she twisted. She says she's okay now, which is good. She says she's just taking it day by day with what she can do, and sticking to her exercises from physiotherapy. Yes, that's good, because that will help you more so in the long term. She says she is definitely getting me time with all of her advents. She has a coffee K-cup one for in the morning. She says zesty Advent and painting with me. And then she's working on her courses for a master's, then grading her students' work in the evening with a cup of tea from her tea Advents. Oh, I like that idea of Advents being at different times of day depending on what you're doing. I like that idea. It's like you get a treat in the morning, you get a treat in the daytime, and then you get a treat in the evening. Love it. She says, and when that's all done, she says she gets to work on Colours of Oak Creek by Jim Todd from Diamond Art Club. She said it is a confetti fall beauty that will be a gift for the mother-in-law. Very nice. I like a sort of day that's planned with little pockets of happiness in with the stuff that just needs to be done. But I'm glad you're feeling better, and I hope things just keep getting better and better. But yeah, ouch on the leg. Kim, she says, now Catherine is hoovering, ? She says, when does she want to come to Indiana? She says, geez, you lucky dog. Yes, I am very blessed and lucky. When she is at home, and she is at home for a chunk of time, then yes, she is an absolute dream. Of course, when she was at uni, she was away from home, didn't quite get the level of help that I do now. And yeah, she did have a couple of weeks where her social life was extremely busy, and I didn't get the help then either. But I definitely enjoy it when it's here, especially when she is on a pottering doing kind of day. It's great. Liz, she says she is catching up on YouTube videos. She is loving Advent this year. She's been working on the Advent canvas and have blinged it up by adding ABs, dust, glitter and crystal drills. She says a girl can never have too much sparkle, especially at Christmas. Good excuse. She says she is loving the Advent calendar. She says you've done another fantastic job. And again, she says day 5, she says, and all becomes clear. Sorry, Louise just told me I've got a delivery from Amazon. She says, yeah, day 5 and all becomes clear. She's been opening her calendar and working on her canvas first thing in the morning. She says she's got a tree up, but it's not decorated yet. She said it's a new tree this year. And then she's put in and crossed out that it's a pre-lit, so no hassle with wrapping lights. The tree came in 2 sections, plus the base, and was so quick and easy to put up. Yes, I would have liked a pre-lit Christmas tree, I will say, when we got our fake one. But I fell in love with the colouring on mine, which is why I dealt with wrapping the lights round instead. She says every little helps, particularly as things are a lot harder this year, she says, than last year due to increased pain and decline in her mobility. Yes, and pre-lit trays and things are great for that. And you can even just leave them as pre-lit trees, or you can decide to pop a few baubles on or not, depending on how you're feeling, which is great about them. Right, that is today's section done. We have finally ventured over into another column, and by the looks of it, tomorrow we go into this last column. Got a couple more days until we get a section at the bottom and we've covered all rows, but we are getting there.
looking absolutely gorgeous. I'm loving it. But yeah, thank you all so much for joining me for today's video, and I will speak to you all again tomorrow.